No puddles on the ground. No dripping fluids on the underside of engine or transmission. All hoses are in good conditions. No leaks. Coolant level. Expect coolant reserve or sight glass. If engine is not hot, remove radiator cap and check for visible coolant level. Water pump. Gear driven. Operating properly. No damages or leaks and mounted securely. Power steering pump. Gear driven. Operating properly. No damages or leaks and mounted securely. Air compressor. Gear driven. Operating properly. No damages or leaks. Mounted securely. Alternator belt. Belt driven. With a snugness of 3/4 inch at the center of the belt, with no cracks or frays. All hoses are in good condition with no leaks. Operating properly, no damage or leaks, and mounted securely. Oil level. Oil dipstick location is indicated. Oil is within safe operating range above refill mark. Steering box and hoses. Securely mounted or mounted securely. Not leaking, not missing nuts, not missing bolts or cotter keys. No fluid leaks or damage to the power steering hose or couplings. Power steering linkage. All links and rods are not worn or cracked. Joints and sockets not worn or loose. No missing nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. Leaf springs, not missing, shifted, cracked, or broken. Torque arms, not damaged and mounted securely. Air ride suspensions, no damage or leaks. Bushings, not missing or damaged and secure to the vehicle's frame. Shock absorbers, secure with no leaks and mounted to the vehicle frame. Slack adjusters, no broken, loose, or missing parts. Push rods should move no more than 1 inch with brakes released when pulled by hand. Brake chambers, not leaking, cracked, or dented, and are securely mounted. Brake hose, lines, and couplings, not cracked, worn, or leaking. Drum brake, no cracks or dents or holes, loose or missing bolts. No contaminants such as debris, oil, or grease. Brake lining, where visible, should not be worn dangerously thin. Rims should not be damaged or bent. No signs of welding repairs. Tread depth should be a minimum of 4 32 on steering tires and 2 32 on all other tires. Tire condition. Tread is evenly worn, no cuts or other damage to the tread or sidewalls. Valve caps and stems are not missing, broken, or damaged. Tire inflation is 90 through 100 psi using a tire gauge. Hub oil seals and axle seals. Not leaking, oil level is adequate. If available, check the hub oil sight glass. Lug nuts and bolt holes are present, free of cracks, distortions, no signs of looseness such as rust trails or shiny threads. Bolt holes are not cracked or distorted. Spacers or bud spacing, not bent or damaged or rusted through. Spacing evenly centered and tires are evenly separated. Splat guards and mud flaps are not damaged and mounted securely. Wiper arms and blades are secure, not damaged, operating smoothly. Clearance lights, red on the rear, amber elsewhere. Reflectors, red on the rear, amber elsewhere. Headlights, high and low beams. Tail lights, backing lights, turn signals, four-way flasher, brake lights, and the reflective tape is red and white, and it's also clean and functional. Windshield, clean, no damage, no obstruction or illegal stickers. Doors are not damaged, open and closed properly. Hinges are secure with seals intact. Mirrors are clean and adjusted properly. Mirror brackets are not damaged. Mirror brackets are mounted securely with no loose fittings. Fuel tanks and straps. Tanks and straps are securely mounted. Straps are not loose. Rubber lining is in place. Tanks are not damaged. No leaks from the tanks or from the fuel lines. Fuel tank caps are tight and secure. Drive shaft, not bent or cracked. Couplings are secure and free of foreign objects. Exhaust system, no damage or leaks such as rust or carbon soot. Connected tightly and mounted securely. The frame has no cracks, no broken welds, no damage to holes or longitudinal frame or cross members. Air and electrical lines. Air lines has no air leaks. Electrical lines are not cut, shaped, spliced, or worn. Steel braid is not showing through. The lines are not tangled, pinched, or dragging against any tractor parts. Steps and catwalks are solid, clear of objects, and securely mounted to the frame. Mounting bolts. No loose or missing mounting brackets, clamps, bolts, or nuts. Locking jaws, fully closed around the kingpin. Fifth wheel skid plate, properly lubricated, securely mounted to the platform frame. Bolts and pins are secure and not missing. Locking pins fully engaged. Fifth wheel is in position so that the tractor will not strike the landing gear or the tractor. Platform. Check for cracks or breaks in the platform. Release arm. Make sure the release arm is in engaged position and the safety latch is in place. The kingpin is not bent. The apron is not bent, cracked, or broken. There is no gap between the fifth wheel skid plate over the trailer apron. Air electrical connections. Air connectors and rubber seals are in good condition. Glad hands are locked in place, free of damage or air leaks. Electrical plug is firmly seated and locked in place. Header board. Check front area and closed trailer for signs of damage such as cracks, bulges, or holes. Landing gear fully raised, no missing parts. Crank handle is secure and the support frame is not damaged. Door ties and lifts. Doors are not damaged. Check that doors open and close and latch properly. Rubber seals are intact. Check that ties, chains, and lifts are secure. There should be no cracks, broken welds, holes, or damage to the frame, cross member. If equipped, make sure the release arm is secure, that the locking pins are locked in place. Indicate oil dipstick location. Oil is within safe operating range, above refill mark. Alternator belt. Belt driven. Up to 3/4 inch plate at the center of belt. No cracks or frays. Operating properly. No damage. Mounted securely. Air compressor. Gear driven. Operating properly. No damage or leaks and mounted securely. Power steering pump. Gear driven. Operating properly. No damage or leaks and mounted secure. Water pump. Gear driven. Operating properly. No damage or leaks. Mounted securely. No puddles on the ground. No dripping fluids on the underside of engine or transmission. All hoses are in good condition without leaks. Indicate power steering fluid. Dipstick fluid is adequate and proper level, above refill mark. Power steering hoses. No fluid leaks or damage to the hose or couplings. Steering box and hoses. Securely mounted or mounted securely, not leaking. No missing nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. No fluid leaks or damage to the steering box or couplings. Power steering linkage. Arms, links, and rods are not worn or cracked. Joints and sockets are not worn or loose. No missing nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. Leaf springs, not missing, shifted, cracked, or broken. Torque arms, not damaged and mounted securely. Air ride suspension, no damage or leaks. Spring hangers, not cracked, broken, and secure to the vehicle's frame. Bushings, not missing or damaged and secure to the vehicle's frame. U-bolts, not broken, loose, or missing and secure to the vehicle's frame and axle. Shock absorbers, secure, no leaks, and mounted to the vehicle's frame. Slack adjusters, no broken, loose, or missing parts. Push rods should move no more than 1 inch with brakes released when pulled by hand. Brake chambers, not leaking, cracked, dented, and mounted securely. Brake hose, lines, and couplings, not cracked, worn, or leaking. Drum brake, no cracks, dents, or holes, loose or missing bolts, no contaminants such as debris, oil, or grease. Brake lining should not be worn dangerously thin. Rims not damaged or bent, no signs of welding repairs. Tread depth should be a minimum of 4 and 32 on axle tires, 2 and 32 on all other tires. Treads is evenly worn, no cuts or other damage to the tread or sidewalls. Valve caps and stems are not missing, broken, or damaged. Tire inflation is 90 through 100 psi using a tire gauge. Hub oil seals and axle seals not leaking. Oil level is adequate. If available, check the hub oil sight glass. Lug nuts and bolt holes present, free of cracks, distortion. No signs of looseness such as rust or shiny threads. Bolt holes are not cracked or distorted. Spacer or bud spacing not bent, damaged, or rusted through. Spacing evenly centered, and tires are evenly separated. Splash guards and mud flaps are not damaged and mounted securely. Wipers, wiper arms and blades not damaged, mounted securely, operating smoothly. Clearance lights, red on the rear, amber elsewhere. Red reflectors, red on the rear, amber elsewhere. Reflector tape is red and white. It's also clean and functional. Headlights, high and low beams, tail lights, backing lights, brake lights, four-way flashers, and turn signals. Windshield, clean, no damage, no obstruction, no illegal stickers. Doors not damaged, open and closed properly with hinges, secure and seals attached. Mirrors, clean and properly adjusted. Mirror brackets are not damaged, mounted securely with no loose fittings. Fuel tanks and straps. Tanks and straps are securely mounted. Straps are not loose, rubber lining is in place. Tanks are not damaged. No leaks from the tanks or the fuel line. Fuel tank caps are tight and secure. Drive shaft, not bent or cracked. Couplings are secure and free of foreign objects. Exhaust system, no damage or leaks such as rust or carbon soot. Connected tightly and mounted securely. The frame has no cracks, no broken welds, no damage to holes or lines to frame members or cross member. Air and electrical lines. Air line has no air leaks. Electrical lines are not cut, shaped, spliced, or worn. Steel braid is not showing through. Not tangled, pinched, or dragging against any tractor parts. Steps and catwalks are solid, clear of objects, and securely mounted. Mounting bolts. No loose or missing mounting brackets, clamps, bolts, or nuts. Locking jaws, fully closed around the kingpin. Fifth wheel skid plate, properly lubricated, securely mounted to the platform frame. Bolts and pins are secure and not missing. Locking pins are fully engaged. Fifth wheel is in position so the tractor will not strike the landing gear or the tractor. Check for cracks or breaks in the platform structure. Make sure the release arm is in engaged position and the safety latch is in place. The kingpin is not bent. The apron is not bent, cracked, or broken. No gap between the fifth wheel skid plate or the trailer apron. Air electrical lines and connections. Air connectors and rubber seals are in good condition. Glad hands are locked in place, free of damage or leaks. Electrical plug is firmly seated and locked in place. Header board. Check for areas enclosed that they have no cracks, bulges, or holes. Landing gear is fully raised and has no missing parts. Crank handle is secure, and the support frame is not damaged. Door ties and lifts. Doors are not damaged. Check that the doors open and close and latch properly. Rubber seals are intact. Check that ties, chains, and lifts are secure. There should be no cracks, broken welds, holes, or other damage to the frame or cross member. If equipped, make sure that the release arm is secure and that the locking pins are locked in place. No puddles on the ground. No dripping fluids on the underside of engine or transmission. All hoses are in good condition without leaks. Inspect the coolant reserve or sight glass. If engine is not hot, remove radiator cap and check for visible coolant level. Water pump is gear driven, operating properly, no damage or leaks, and mounted securely. Alternator belt driven, up to 3/4 inch play at the center of belt, no cracks or frays, operating properly, no damage, and mounted securely. Power steering pump, gear driven, operating properly, no damage or leaks, mounted securely. Air compressor, gear driven, operating properly, no damage or leaks, mounted securely. Indicate oil dipstick location. Oil is within safe operating range and above refill mark. Indicate power steering, reserve, and fluid dipstick location. Fluid is adequate and at a proper level, above refill mark. Power steering hoses. No fluid leaks or damage to the hose or couplings. Steering box and hoses. Securely mounted, no leaking, no missing nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. No fluid leaks or damage to the power steering hose or couplings. Power steering linkage. Arms and links and rods not worn or cracked. Joints and sockets not worn or loose. No missing nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. Leaf springs not missing, shift, cracked, or broken. Torque arms not damaged and mounted securely. Air ride suspension, no damage or leaks. Spring hangers not cracked or broken and secured to the vehicle's frame. Bushings not missing or damaged and secured to the vehicle's frame. U-bolts not broken, loose, or missing and secured to the vehicle's frame and axle. Shock absorbers secure, no leaks, and mounted to the vehicle's frame. Slack adjuster, no broken, loose, or missing parts. Push rods should move no more than 1 inch with brakes released when pulled by hand. Brake chambers not leaking, cracked, or dented and mounted securely. Brake hose, lines, and couplings not cracked, not worn, not leaking. Drum brake, no cracks, dents, or holes, loose or missing bolts. No contaminants such as debris, oil, or grease. Brake lines should not be worn dangerously thin. Rims not damaged or bent. No signs of welding repairs. Tread depth should be a minimum of 4 32 on steering axle tires, 2 32 on all other tires. Tire condition. Tread is evenly worn, no cuts or other damage to tread or sidewalls. Valve caps and stems are not missing, broken, or damaged. Tire inflation. 90 through 100 psi using a tire gauge. Hub oil seal and axle seals not leaking. Oil level is adequate. If available, check the hub oil sight glass. Lug nuts and bolt holes present, free of cracks, distortion, no signs of looseness such as rust trails or shiny threads. Bolt holes are not cracked or distorted. Spacer or bud spacing not bent, not damaged or rusted through. Spacing evenly centered and tires evenly separated. Splash guards and mud flaps not damaged and mounted securely. Wipers. Wiper arms and blades are secure, not damaged, operating smoothly. Clearance lights. Red on the rear, amber elsewhere. Reflectors. Red on the rear, amber elsewhere. Reflector tape is red and white and also clean and functional. Headlights. High and low. Tail lights. Backing lights. Brake lights. Turn signals and four-way flashers. Windshield, clean, no damage, no obstruction, no illegal stickers. Doors, not damaged, open and closed properly, Hinges are secure with seals intact. Mirrors, clean and adjusted properly. Mirror brackets are not damaged, mounted securely, no loose fittings. Fuel tank and straps. Tanks and straps are Tanks and straps are securely mounted or mounted securely. Straps are not loose, rubber linings in place. Tanks are not damaged. No leaks from tanks or fuel lines. Fuel tank caps are tight and secure. Drive shaft, not bent or cracked. Couplings are secure and free of foreign objects. Exhaust system, no damage or signs of leaks, such as rust or carbon soot. Connected tightly and mounted securely. The frame has no cracks, no broken welds, no damage to the holes or lines to frame members or cross member. Air and electrical lines. Air lines has no air leaks. Electrical lines are not cut, shaped, spliced, or worn. Steel braid is not showing through. Not tangled, pinched, or dragging against any tractor parts. Steps and catwalks are solid, clear of objects, and securely mounted. Mounting bolts, no loose or missing mounting brackets, clamps, bolts, or nuts. Locking jaws, fully closed around the kingpin. Fifth wheel skid plate is properly lubricated, securely mounted to the platform frame. Bolts and pins are secure and not missing. Locking pins fully engaged. Fifth wheel is in position so the tractor will not strike the landing gear or the tractor. Platform has no cracks or breaks. Make sure the release arm is in engaged position and the safety latch is in place. Kingpin is not bent. Apron is not bent, cracked, or broken. There is no gap between the fifth wheel skid plate or trailer apron. Air and electrical connections. Air connectors and rubber seals are in good condition. Glad hands are locked in place, free of damage or air leaks. Electrical plug is firmly seated and locked in place. Header board should have no cracks, bulges, or holes. Landing gear is fully raised, has no missing parts. Crank handle is secure, and the support frame is not damaged. Doors, ties, and lifts. Doors are not damaged. Check that doors open and close and latch properly. Rubber seals are intact. Check that ties, chains, and lifts are secure. There should be no cracks, broken welds, holes, or other damage to the frame or cross member. Make sure the release arm is in secure and that the locking pins are locked in place. Leaks and holes. No puddles on the ground. No dripping fluids on the underside of engine or transmission. All hoses are in good condition without leaks. Water pump. Gear driven, operating properly. No damage or leaks. Mounted securely. Power steering pump. Gear driven, operating properly. No damage or leaks. Mounted securely. Air compressor. Gear driven, operating properly. No damage or leaks. And mounted securely. Alternator. Belt driven, operating properly. With the snugness up to 3/4 inch at the center of the belt, no cracks or phrases. All hoses are in good condition without leaks and mounted securely. Coolant level. Inspect coolant reserve or sight glass. If engine is not hot, remove radiator cap and check for visible coolant level. Indicate oil dipstick location. Oil is within safe operating range, above refill mark. Indicate power steering reserve and fluid dipstick location. Fluid is at an adequate and proper level above refill mark. Power steering hoses, no fluid leaks or damage to the hose or couplings. Steering box and hoses, securely mounted or mounted securely, not leaking, no missing nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. No fluid leaks or damage to the power steering hose or couplings. Power steering linkage. Arms, links, and rods are not worn or cracked. Joints and sockets not worn or loose. No missing nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. Leaf springs not missing, shifted, cracked, or broken. Torque arms are not damaged and mounted securely. Air rod suspension is not damaged or leaks. Spring hangers not cracked or broken and secured to the vehicle's frame. Bushings not missing, damaged, and secured to the vehicle's frame. U-bolts not broken, loose, or missing and secured to the vehicle's frame. Shock absorbers are secure with no leaks and mounted to the vehicle's frame. Slack adjusters not broken, loose, or missing parts. Push rods should move no more than 1 inch with brakes released when pulled by hand. Brake chambers not leaking, cracked, or dented and mounted securely. Brake hose, lines, and couplings are not cracked or worn or leaking. Drum brake, no cracks, no dents or holes, loose or missing bolts. No contaminants such as debris, oil, or grease. Brake linings should not be worn dangerously thin. Rims are not damaged or bent. No signs of welding repairs. Tread depth should be a minimum of 432 on steering axle tires and 232 on all other tires. Tire conditioning. Tread is evenly worn, no cuts or other damage to the tread or sidewalls. Valve caps and stems are not missing, broken, or damaged. Tire inflation is a 90 through 100 psi using a tire gauge. Hub oil seals and axle seals not leaking. Oil level is adequate. If available, check the hub oil sight glass. Lug nuts and bolt holes present, free of cracks, no distortions, no signs of looseness such as rust, trails, or shiny threads. Bolt holes are not cracked or distorted. Spacers or bud spacing, not bent, damaged, or rusted through. Spacing evenly centered, tires evenly separated. Splash guards and mud flaps, not damaged and mounted securely.